So let's start off with the lab for the IAM section. So I'll go on to the services and the security, identity and compliance. I'll be able to list down IAM service. So this is the dashboard of the IAM section where we get information. Welcome to identity and access management, and the very first and the foremost important thing to look forward is about this region. So if you see, IAM is basically a global service, which means any changes that I am going to apply from this service, it is going to be applicable in each of the region, which means if I create a user, he will be able to access the entire AWS account irrespective of the region, right? So if I'm trying to create a role or if I'm trying to create a group, that will be applicable for this entire AWS account. Now the next thing that we see here is IAM users sign in link. We are actually the owner of this AWS account. That's why we have logged in using the email ID. We call it as a root account. Now in this root account, we are actually going to add certain set of users from my company who are going to log in and then start off with their work by creating the virtual machines, start storing the data or some other things. Now how would my users be logging in into this AWS console? So this is the user link that we are actually going to provide. But now if you see, it will be very difficult for any user to remember this random number and then say signin.aws.amazon.com/console. So specifically we get an option to customize this with a user friendly name. So let's say if my company's name is example.com, then actually I can go ahead and customize this accordingly. So I can say maybe example, but remember this name should be unique. Let's try to see if this is available. I'll say create. So this account alias name has been already taken by someone else, so I'll not be able to use this. So I would try to make use of AWS training 2019. I hope this is available. Yes, there we go. So now you can see the user sign in link has been customized as per our need, and it has become AWS training 2019.signin.aws.amazon.com/console. So this is something that we are actually going to share it with all the users whom we are going to add it up in this AWS account, so that it will be easier for them to log in. Next we see is IAM resources. So currently, since it's a brand new AWS account, I do not have anything as such. So you can see users as 0, groups as 0, customer managed policies as 0, identity providers as 0, and the some of the specific roles are already been available by default, or sometimes it may also be 0 as well. So whenever we create any user, automatically these numbers will automatically get updated here. So the next important thing about the first part of our lab in the IAM section is we are going to convert the security status. As we see below, we only have one green tick mark and 4 orange colored warning marks. So these 4 orange warning marks are something that we are going to get it converted into green tick marks. So that will be the very first part of our activity. So if you see, the very first one says that delete your root access keys has been enabled with a green tick mark. Now it's really important to understand what is root access keys. So to explain this, let's move towards Notepad. So whenever we create an AWS account, there are two ways to log in into this. One is using the user ID and the password, and the second method that we basically use is via command line. So this command line basically requires two important parameters, that is access keys and the secret access key. So currently, while we logged in into our AWS account, it was using the user ID and the password. And the other method that we basically use is via command line, where we need to provide access key and the secret access key. So by default, Amazon would recommend that you should not enable this method for your root account. So in case if you really want to make use of the access key and the secret access key, you may want to create a user with limited set of capabilities, and then assign the access key and the secret access key in order to access your AWS account. So that's the reason, as we see on the console here, by default the root access keys are being deleted, which means Amazon's utmost priority is to ensure that we follow the best security standards, and this is a root account which we have logged in using our Gmail ID or maybe with the company's ID with which you will create one of them. So that was about deleting your root access keys. Now the second important thing is about activating MFA on your root account. If I go back to the notepad, here we see the first method where we have logged in into our AWS account using the user ID and the password. So there is a chance that this might get compromised and someone else will be accessing my account. So is there any other way I can leverage the security a little more? So surely we can do it with the help of MFA. So what is MFA? MFA is basically short form for multi-factor authentication. Right? So this is same like the way we log in into any of our banking applications. So moment you enter the user ID and the password, it actually sends across a SMS with a 6-digit code to your mobile number, and then you input those 6 digits and thereby you will be able to log in into your account. Similarly here also, if you want to log in into your AWS account, after you input the user ID and password, we have to input a 6-digit number which could be either generated by a SMS or maybe by a third party applications. So let's see what are the options available in a MFA. So if I go ahead and click on activate MFA on your root account and then say manage MFA. So it's saying that you are going to access the security credentials page for your root AWS account, which will provide unlimited access to your AWS resources, right? So it is important to review this page and then say I would like to continue to security credentials. Now here in this I'm going to open up the multi-factor authentication part and then I'm going to activate it. So it's going to ask which kind of device are you going to use, whether you have a virtual MFA device or you are going to use U2F security key or maybe any other hardware MFA device. So currently if I go with the second or third option, I'll have to either purchase the YubiKey or Gemalto token, or in case if I want to make use of the free third-party applications, then I would like to go with the virtual MFA device, which can be installed on my mobile device or maybe on a computer as well. So let's go ahead and click on continue. So there we go. The step number 1 is to install a compatible application on your mobile device or a computer. Now let's go ahead and have a look at the list of compatible applications. So there we go. These are all the different MFA devices that I actually can configure. So one is virtual MFA device, which is usually coming for free, and if I go for universal U2F security key, it is around $40. If I go with hardware key FOB MFA device, it costs me around $12.99, and if I go for hardware display card MFA device, it is going to cost me $19.99, and if I go with SMS based component, it depends upon the country where I reside on the charges. And if I scroll the page little more down, I can see what are the applications which I can actually use for the virtual MFA. So if you are using an Android phone, then Google Authenticator or Authy two-factor authentication would be a best choice to go with. And if you're on the iPhone, again the same applications are also available. And if you are on a Windows based phone, then you need to download Authenticator. So Authenticator is application from Google company itself. So let's go ahead and download this. I'll just try to open it up. So this is the one, install Google Authenticator. So you can directly go to a Play Store and you should be able to find an application with the name Google Authenticator, or if you're on iPhone or iPad, you need to go to App Store and then download this. So I'm using a Android mobile, so let me show you how do I download it. So I'll open up the Play Store here. So in this, I'm going to search for Google Authenticator. So the first one that comes with a gray colored G symbol is the one we are going to look for, Google Authenticator. I'm going to click on this. And there it says it's already installed on my mobile. If it's not done so, you can actually click install and automatically it will get installed on your mobile device as well. Now the moment you go ahead and install this application and open it up on your mobile, it is going to show this way. The first screen appears with a gray colored G symbol with a blue background, where it will ask you to begin the setup. The moment you go ahead and click on the begin, it will ask you if you would like to sync it with your Gmail ID or any of the Google account. You can do it. If not, you can skip this and directly come to the next page, where it will ask you to scan a barcode or enter a provided key. So we are going to scan a barcode. So if you go back to the page of AWS, here you can see on the step number 2, it is asking you to open up the MFA app and then scan the QR code, right? So the moment I go ahead and click on the show QR code, it is going to showcase a QR code which needs to be scanned by my mobile application. And once the QR code is being scanned, you should be able to see on your mobile. This way the application gets configured, right? So if you have couple of AWS accounts, you can actually configure both of them on your authenticator, and this will be displayed like this. So here I have configured couple of accounts, as you see on the screen, and it shows a specific 6-digit number. And you can see here on the right hand side a small circle which basically displays a timer. So after a specific period of time, this 6-digit number expires and automatically a new 6-digit number will come into the picture, right? So here you can see it's already on the half time, and after some time it will get expired and a new 6-digit number will come into the picture. So let me quickly go ahead and scan the QR code. Now the moment you would have actually scanned the QR code, the step number 3 would be to enter the MFA codes, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter the first MFA code which is being now displayed on my Google Authenticator app. That is basically going to be right. So once you have entered both the codes, you can go ahead and click on assign MFA. Now you might be in a troublesome situation on how I got my second code. So wait for the first code to expire and automatically the second code would come in, and then once you see the second code, just go ahead and click on assign MFA. So once you click on the assign MFA, you should be able to see a success message which would have said you have successfully assigned virtual MFA. This virtual MFA will be required during the sign in. Now I'll just say go ahead and close this, and if I go back to the dashboard, you should now be able to see a second green tick mark which is been available. So what I'll try to do is, let me quickly log out and then log in into the account and see if the MFA is now applicable or not. So there I have logged out. Now I'll quickly go ahead and log in. I'll say my account, AWS Management Console. So I've entered my email ID and the password. I'll click on sign in. And there you can see it's asking me for the 6-digit authenticator code. So I'll quickly enter one and click on submit. So we are now able to log in into the AWS account. So this is how you actually go ahead and enable the multi-factor authentication on your root account. Similarly, whenever you're going to add some users to the IAM service, those users will also be able to set up a MFA so that their accounts are also secured on this AWS root account itself. So let me go back to the IAM section. So as we see on the dashboard, now in the security status, you can see 2 of the 5 complete is the message which is being displayed, which means we have got 2 green tick marks, and yet there are 3 orange warning marks, which we are going to continue in the next part of our lab. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.